hungry, let's take a trip. What's up, y'all? It's your girl AJ from The Local Tourist Craves, and today for our next episode of super spooky snacks, we got another one for the adults. We're gonna make stuffed jack-o'-lanterns. Now these are kid friendly too, but you know, this is mainly towards more of our savory palette. So items that you're gonna need, ingredients wise, you're gonna need red peppers, yellow peppers, green peppers, orange peppers, whatever type of peppers you like. You're gonna need some cherry tomatoes. You're gonna need some cheese of your choice, some tomato paste, some garlic, a meat of your choice. We're using turkey today, and some rice. This is rice that I already used for a different recipe. I like to use pre-cooked rice because it cooks a little bit better in the oven. Utensils you're gonna need are a cutting board, a paring knife to cut our jack-o'-lantern, a chopping knife, a spatula, and a pot. So let's get into the video. Alright y'all, so we're going to start in a large saucepan, and first things first is I'm going to go ahead and cook my meat down. So I just add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and we're just going to add in our turkey. Ignore the smoke, we just cleaned our oven, so that's what y'all see, it's just the vinegar and stuff cooking off. But it adds for some spooky effect, I guess. So we're gonna go ahead and cook down our turkey. I'm gonna go ahead and season it a little bit now. And I'm just gonna keep it simple for this step. I'm just using a little bit of black pepper to taste. And a little bit of seasoned salt to taste. Not too much. So we're gonna go ahead and cook this down and drain it off, and then we'll come back for next steps. Alright guys, so we're about midway through. A lot of the moisture in my turkey is starting to come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in a tablespoon of garlic and let that cook down some more until most of the moisture is cooked out. Like so. Cook it until it's brown like you like, and then I'm also going to go ahead and preheat my oven to 400 degrees. Meat has cooked all of the moisture out, as you can see. I'm going to go ahead and add in, I'm going to turn my heat down to medium-low heat. I'm going to go ahead and add in those cherry tomatoes just for some extra texture. Oh, we got one trying to run away. And a tablespoon of tomato paste. Go ahead and combine that. Now the reason why I didn't season the turkey a whole bunch is because remember I told you I'm using that rice that I used for a different meal, a different day. That's heavily seasoned. So you don't ever want your food to be over seasoned. So we're gonna go ahead and add in that cold rice. It's about a cup of rice, maybe a cup and a half. So we're going to combine all of this, get it all nice and incorporated, and then we're going to move over to our peppers. Alright y'all, so this texture is a little bit thicker than I want, and I want the acidity for my tomatoes to be cut a little bit. So I have beef stock. I often keep beef stock, chicken stock, vegetable stock in my fridge. This is from, again, a beef dish that I made not so long ago. I'm going to go ahead and add in about 1/3 of a cup of that. And that's going to give us a little bit more of a loose consistency and cut some of that acidity from our tomatoes. So you see that just loosened it up nicely so that it's going to fill nicely into our peppers. So if you don't eat beef, you can definitely use vegetable stock, chicken stock. I just use what I have on hand. Perfect. Let's go on and taste this before we move on to the next steps. Make sure you're always tasting your food. Good. Let's move on to the next step. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start preparing our peppers to be stuffed. You're just going to cut the very top and the very, very bottom. Let me see if I can show you guys how much. Just a little bit, just so that they sit up straight in our container. So we're gonna do that to all 3. And then you're gonna use your paring knife and just gently remove the insides. If you don't have a paring knife, you can use a spoon, whatever you have on hand. We're gonna gut the inside. We're gonna rinse them clean, and then we're gonna go ahead and cut our jack-o'-lantern. So I'm using a paring knife, like I said. I'm gonna just cut a eye. And you can either throw this in the mixture of your meat and rice, or so you don't waste it, or you can eat them raw. They're good raw, whatever you choose. And the reason why I'm using a paring knife is because it makes it easier to kind of control what you're cutting. Just be gentle, take your time, and it will pop right out. And boom, we got a jack-o'-lantern. Go ahead and do it to all 3 of your peppers, and then we'll meet back here for the next steps. Alright guys, so we went ahead and got all of our jack-o'-lanterns cut. I went ahead and took my cheese, shredded it down, and I put a little bit in the bottom just to give it, you know, something for the stuffing to sit on, and so that it doesn't leak out the bottom. And we're gonna go ahead and fill each pepper with our rice and meat mixture. Stuff it down as much as you can, get it as full as you can. I'm actually gonna use a smaller spoon because you want to try to get as much of it in as you can. These are a very hearty dish. A little, like 1 pepper is more than enough. Perfect, like that. We're gonna go ahead and put it down, and then you're gonna stuff your top on top of it. You can leave the stem on. One of them I left the stem off, or really the stem cut off, but same thing. So depending on the size of your pepper, depends on how much you'll be able to stuff them. So we're gonna go ahead and stuff all of our peppers, and then we're gonna throw it into our 400-degree oven for a few minutes. But before we do that, I'm gonna show you next steps. So let's go ahead and stuff our peppers, and then we'll meet back here. Alright guys, so we have all of our jack-o'-lantern stuffed and our lids on. I'm gonna just put a little bit of that same stock we loosened our stuff up with, our mixture up with, at the bottom, just so that my peppers don't stick to the bottom. And then we're gonna go ahead and place it uncovered into our 400-degree oven for about 20-25 minutes. If you want, you can add more cheese to the top, but no one in my house likes cheese, except for really me, so I'm not gonna overdo it with the cheese. So you can either put it at the bottom, mix it in, or put it at the bottom and at the top. Alright guys, so it's actually been about 25 minutes that I left them in there. I like for the peppers to cook all the way through so that they're not crunchy, just a little bit, but not undercooked. So I'm gonna actually just take it out of the pan. You can see it's nice and cooked all the way through. The cheese is nice and melted. I'm gonna just move it over to a plate, and then just sprinkle with a little bit of thyme. And boom, there you go. Jack-o'-lantern stuffed peppers. Open so you can get an idea of what it looks like. You can see the pepper is nice. Well, let me take this off. You can see the pepper is nice and cooked through, but it's still got a little bit of texture to it. Nice and full. Let's get a little bite here together. I know it's gonna be hot, but y'all know I'm greedy. I can't wait. All right, let's see. See? Oh, looks good. really good. The pepper is cooked just enough to where it still has a little bit of crunch to it, but it's not raw. Try it yourself and let me know how it tastes down below. Don't stay a tourist. Become a local and hit that subscribe button. And make sure you spread the love by liking and sharing this video for more local tourist cravings.